Hey, welcome back to another episode of Move to Sioux Falls. This is Albert Heising the Fifth, and we got to talk to Emily Thomas, owner of the Sioux Falls City Football Club. She's an awesome mom, a CEO of the house, and is just booming the community with owning that soccer team. If you like this video, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. It's awesome. Like maybe this is like the, in the theater when they turn the lights off, you're like, okay, the movie's coming.
It's coming. We're done with the hour previews.
Yeah. I hate those.
My gosh. Yeah.
I'm going to see Aliens on Friday. My mom was like, can we go see this? I'm like, oh, I don't really want to, but sure.
I need to see Wolverine.
Oh, Wolverine and Deadpool was good. Very good.
Yeah, I know. So, everybody in my family.
They all saw it without you?
Well, yes, because I hadn't seen Deadpool.
Oh.
And so I was tasked with watching all three. Deadpool, Logan, Deadpool 2.
Oh, before you go to.
Yes, because so we're a huge Marvel family.
Okay, cool.
Huge. And yeah.
But has it been like, I was pretty big into it till Endgame, and then it's kind of been like, meh.
Oh, I love it.
Oh, after Endgame, you're like, oh, this is awesome still? Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm like kind of like, it feels like too much now.
There are certain things like the TV shows, that some of them were like,
Loki was good.
Loki was incredible. I thought, oh my gosh, I'm gonna embarrass myself. My family would be so disappointed in me.
You're fine.
Like WandaVision.
Okay, yeah.
That was amazing.
No, it was not that good, guys.
What? Albert.
It wasn't that good. It felt like too like forced and quick. No. Like they came out with like 5 different Marvels that year. It's like, come on.
I know, it was so like I think that yes. Yeah. No, She-Hulk, it was fun.
She-Hulk was
fun.
It was okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But no. We love them. We love them all.
Okay.
Yes. In fact, that's what we named our dog. Is Marvel.
Oh, Marvel. I thought you were going to say Wanda.
No, Marvel. Yeah.
He's a good one.
4 pounds, and he's got his little Marvel harness, and everything he has is Marvel.
Do you think like in like 5 years, people will start naming their kids after these like characters?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you should name your next one Iron. Iron.
No, not going to happen.
Actually, one of my best friends, their son is already named Thor.
Oh, okay. But Thor is like an Icelandic name already, so like I could see that.
Yeah. I don't know.
But like, no one should name their kid like Spider-Man. Like that would be terrible.
Well, it'd be Peter.
It could be Peter.
Peter Parker.
Or they could call him Spider-Man. How bad would that be? It's like Kanye when he names his kid like North.
Yeah. You just, instead of Spider, Spidey.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of like it.
No.
Middle name.
I am figuring out the inside of Emily, and I like don't know how we're partnered together.
Clearly, you needed me in your life.
Yes, of course. Just a differing opinion and perspective helps you grow. So there you go.
So Spidey it is.
No.
I'll talk to Kayla.
Okay, so gonna start with some hit fire questions just to get to know who's Emily Thomas.
Oh boy.
So first hit fire question, actually it's kind of crazy. We just talked about this, but like I had on the docket favorite movie.
Marvels. I mean anything Marvel.
Everything?
Marvel Universe.
Okay.
Well, I mean you can't pick and choose.
Okay.
Don't make me do that.
Yeah. Okay. A favorite sport? Easy one. Maybe.
Well, that's favorite to watch, favorite to play, favorite like. I mean, I will say soccer, obviously, because it's
yeah. You're a owner of a soccer team.
I own a soccer team, so I should say soccer.
Okay. If you had to play, would it be soccer?
Oh, absolutely not.
Okay.
I have never played.
If you had to play a sport, then what would it be?
I would love to play American football.
Okay. Hey, I heard they have a women's league. I think you.
They do, yeah.
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 There you go.
Sign me up.
Sign you up.
I'll be in the hospital after the first practice.
Hey, at least you made it to the first practice.
Right. I just want to hit somebody.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Favorite spot in Sioux Falls?
Somewhere in nature, like a cornfield. just anywhere with green trees
Okay.
and sound of birds.
Okay, so then maybe I'll follow up. Like, is there a favorite park in Sioux Falls that you like is your go-to?
No, there's not.
Okay, just in nature.
Yeah, I've been known to be kicked out of some cornfields.
Oh, okay.
Yep, we'll just leave it at that.
I really want to go into that more, but this is Hit Fire, so.
Yes, thank goodness.
Okay. Favorite restaurant here in Sioux Falls to go to?
Our wine bar.
Hey, that's what I always would say too.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Honestly, it depends on my mood. Like
Okay.
for what kind of food I want.
Okay. Then we have to follow up with favorite wine that you've gotten at our wine bar.
I mean, all wine is my favorite wine.
Okay. Oh, okay. I like the bottle the Troublemaker. So
Okay. Oh, well, that's appropriate for you.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm into Sauvignon Blanc, so.
Okay. I'm more of like a Merlot guy.
Okay.
But like I can go like a little bit sweeter too, like kind of like a semi. So that's kind of like why I like the Troublemaker. It's a little in between kind of thing. So, yeah.
I like New Zealand. So
New Zealand.
Sauvignon Blancs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, simple, right? We're all about simple.
That's right.
Cool.
But really, I don't discriminate against wine.
Yeah. Okay. What's your favorite brand of clothing to wear, or if you can't think of that, if it's like, oh, I don't really care, favorite place to shop at for clothing?
In Sioux Falls or just in general?
In Sioux Falls, yeah, it has to be
Ooh.
in Sioux Falls.
Anthropology.
Okay, that's awesome. Cool. I'm trying to remember. That's located over by like the west side, over by the Empire Mall over there,
It's
right?
in the mall.
Yeah, it's in the mall.
Yep.
Why did I think it was not
You
in
can't
the
pull
mall?
east, west, north, south. I mean, like, no.
No. I would say it's more like west side. For
I'm
sure.
saying you can't say that. Like, that just doesn't.
Oh,
yeah.
okay, cool.
No.
Cool. That like I think you have hit the generation before like when people just say like landmarks, that's like where you do your directions. You'd be like, oh, hey, do you know where this landmark is on this side? I feel like that's your age and younger who like explain those directions. And then older than you is like, hey, you turn right and go east this way and go west this way. And I'm like, that was like way back in the day.
Yeah, no.
When GPS didn't exist and stuff like
exactly.
that. Yeah.
I'm like, I don't even know which direction I used to think that I was always going north because that's just going straight. Yeah.
Okay, well,
Cut
I know
that,
what your
please.
favorite direction is. North.
North. It's up.
Yeah, well, then you go
moving
to
up.
Canada a lot of times. So, this is a good question right away. Who has been like your guys' hardest opponent to play for the Sioux Falls City Football Club?
I would say who we faced in regionals this year.
Okay.
Indianapolis.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I feel like just following up on that, wasn't Indianapolis when you guys were doing like the logo competition? Weren't they in the final like logo competition with you guys? I feel like they were.
Maybe. I think it's FC Pride is the team name. So
Okay.
yeah.
Gotcha.
But pretty cool that we won that, by the way.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so Emily Thomas, we have you here on the Move to Sioux Falls set, which Move to Sioux Falls is a real estate company, but it's not just about the transaction of a real estate sale. It's more about the community, who Sioux Falls is, why people want to move here. We're at the Washington, which is a 605 Lofts Sodex Days managed property, which 605 Magazine owns. And we just kind of like wanted you on to understand like Emily Thomas, owner of Sioux Falls City Football Club. How did you like get there? How did you like, just figure it out, So just give me some background about who you are. Like, have you always been in Sioux Falls? Like, how did you maybe go from, working a job or like being a mom into the Sioux Falls City Football Club?
That's a loaded question.
Sorry. Yeah.
So, Emily Thomas, I grew up in Iowa on a Christmas tree farm.
Okay.
Taylor Swift and I have a lot in common. Just saying. And then I went to college at Augustana, played softball there, got to play for a national championship my first year, which was incredible. Our team's in the Hall of Fame, which is incredible.
That's awesome. I'm surprised you didn't say play softball on that question beforehand.
Well, I know
Yeah.
yeah, because I've done that. I haven't done the football thing,
Okay.
but I met my future now husband
Yep.
at Augie, and I graduated with exercise science. Then I went to Chicago, got a master's degree,
hmm
simply because I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life yet.
Okay.
So I got a master's in exercise physiology and cardiac rehab, and then I was proposed to, so I came back
Yeah.
to South Dakota, and then Eric and I, through he's a retinal surgeon,
Yep.
and so we moved to Columbia, Missouri for 4 years. We lived in Lexington, Kentucky for 2 years, and he had the opportunity to come back here to
Yeah,
work,
for sure.
and so that's what brought us back.
Okay.
And yeah. So anyway, we'll get into that later. But 3 kids. We've got a 23-year-old son,
Okay.
a 21-year-old daughter, and a 16-year-old daughter. And I think, yeah, I used to be pharmaceutical rep.
Yep. Okay.
So I traveled a lot. And I hated it. I hated sales. But yeah. But I learned a lot, right?
Yeah.
And then when we moved back here to Sioux Falls from Lexington, Kentucky, I was pregnant with our third,
Okay.
and the company couldn't transfer me, and so I stayed at home.
Yep.
And it was such a privilege to be able to stay at home.
For sure. And what year was this?
That was 2007.
Okay, so like right before the whole real estate industry crash, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like what's going on? Okay.
Yeah. So
And you were in Sioux Falls by this time.
we
in
moved
2007?
back in October. So Eric started working at Ophthalmology Limited
Yep.
in July.
Okay.
And I basically just roamed and couch surfed with my 2 children being
For sure.
pregnant
Yeah.
until we came back. We lived in a little apartment because our house wasn't ready yet. And then we moved into our house in October. And yeah, looking back, it was kind of crazy, but we did
Yeah,
it,
For sure.
Yeah.
I don't know how you would have been able to do that. 2 kids with another one on their way, couch surfing a little bit, but like being a mom, there's a ton that goes into that. I watch the kids 1 day a week and I'm like, hon, how do you do this? Like I don't know. Like I just feel like there's like this wiring of like patience that women have.
I would not say patience
Oh,
is
oh,
wired
oh,
in me.
oh,
No.
oh. What would you say like
Perseverance.
Okay.
Obviously love.
For sure.
And it's like you just do it.
Yeah.
You just do it. You just figure it out.
For
I
sure.
think that's my whole personality is you just do it. You figure it out.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Like I appreciate you went to Chicago because I actually went to Chicago on an internship.
Okay.
And I actually worked at the Shirley Ryan Ability Lab, which does I worked with the Paralympic athletes there.
Oh, wow. That's so cool.
Yeah, so it's kind of cool. Like you did the exercise physiology.
Yeah.
I was doing the sports management, exercise science kind of route.
Yeah.
So I feel like we have more similarities than
Yeah.
before.
Exactly.
And we've known each other for a
I know.
while. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I got to, I was a grad assistant and we took care of fire departments and we
Oh.
cleared them for duty.
That's awesome.
And so we got to do lung function tests and EKGs and
I'm surprised you weren't on Chicago Fire.
Me too. Hey,
Yeah.
just kidding.
I mean, that would have been great content,
It would have been. Yeah.
right? So,
No, it was really cool. But what I did there, I couldn't do back here
for
because
sure.
you need an RN degree to do everything I did in
Oh,
Chicago
okay,
here.
gotcha. That's like a requirement in South Dakota opposed to in like Illinois.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It was just kind of different. Like there were no jobs like that, I guess, here.
Okay.
And so, hence getting into the pharmaceutical
Yep,
industry and trying to use my medical background
for
with that.
sure.
So, yeah.
And so I don't want to stay on like pharmaceuticals too long, but like,
No, we can be
like,
done with that.
yeah, like, what did you learn from that job though? Like, what are the tools that you were like, this was great for being an owner of a professional soccer team?
So I would say there's a lot of cons that went with that job that I'm just kind of learning about now.
Okay.
Like, not really being my true authentic self because you kind of do what you need to do to, get in to see the physicians or get in to see. So you kind of mold into what they want you to be, right?
Yeah, for sure. I saw this movie like with Emily Blunt, and it's all about her like trying to get like this. I think it was OxyContin into like the
Oh,
like
yeah.
pharmacy, like all these
I haven't seen that
doctors.
one. Yeah.
I feel like you were Emily Blunt. You're basically like, hey, what is this doctor like? So I could go talk to him and be like, sell this
Yeah.
drug.
Yeah. That's basically it, and like it for me, I love talking to people. I
Yeah,
love getting to know people. So that part of it, I think helped, right? Like
yeah,
I can talk to anybody and I
yep,
can usually find some common ground and learn a lot. Like I love to learn about people. And so I think that role helped me know that I can do that,
yeah,
you know?
for sure.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of really good leaders or owners of businesses are able to connect with people, figure out like
Mhm.
how they are motivated.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I think
yeah,
connection is, I was just learning about this because, adult ADHD diagnosis. And
yeah,
I was literally just listening to a podcast. And like one of the strengths is connecting things that wouldn't be normally be connected.
yeah.
And I love that.
That is cool.
Yeah. So
That's
anyway,
awesome. Cool. Okay, so you're in pharmaceutical. You hate it. You get out. It's 2007. You're being mom. You're being awesome. That kind of lasts from 2007 until, was it like COVID, or was it like there was something prior to the Sioux Falls City Football Club that you had done?
I would say, you know, as my kids got older, they played every sport
Yeah.
and music, and like we wanted them to experience everything, right? To find what they love.
Mhm.
And so, I mean, travel baseball, competitive,
Yeah.
travel soccer, travel football, I mean, everything,
You were
right?
on the road.
We were on the road. Yes. And a lot of it was like divide and conquer,
Yeah.
and then if Eric was on call, it was like, okay, how do we manage this? And a lot of just figuring things out,
Yeah,
and trying to get every opportunity that our kids could have because we were fortunate to be able
for
to do
sure.
that. And I realize how incredibly blessed and privileged we were to be able to give our kids those opportunities. And so, you know, that kind of just kept happening and different things would come up. And so I'd have to advocate for my son to be on a certain team or for my daughter to be on a different level or,
For sure, yeah.
whatever. It's like all these things happen. And it's, again, I come back to you just do it. Like you don't even think about it or I don't think about it. It's just like, okay, what do I need to do to get it
Yeah,
done?
for sure.
And then you do it. And I think like that's just part of who I am too is just impulsive sometimes and it's just like, all right, I'll do it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then as the kids got older, I realized like you don't really get much you don't get much from doing laundry.
For sure.
You don't get much satisfaction. I mean, it's important. I
For sure.
know that me being available for my kids and taking care of I mean, we call myself the, Thomas CEO, you know? Um,
That's awesome.
and I truly believe that. And, but it was like, I wanted more.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It was time. I
Yeah.
wanted more. And I felt like I just wasn't using my brain and whatever. So, um, I, I, I started, I got involved with Moms Demand Action.
Okay.
And that is, it's Moms Demand Action, gun violence prevention.
Okay.
And my son was in the Harrisburg shooting
Okay.
when he was a freshman in 2016. And so that moment was the worst moment of my life.
For sure.
Not knowing if I was ever going to see him again. And I put it on pause for a while because I thought, oh, well, nobody died.
For sure.
It, it didn't make the national news, so I don't have anything to
Worry
worry
Yeah,
about.
for sure.
But then as more and more of these shootings kept happening, I don't know, one day I just heard or saw something on Twitter about
Yeah.
like a Moms Demand Action thing, and
Yeah.
I called.
And
And
this is in Sioux Falls, or is this in like other areas of the country?
well, that's what I didn't know, right? And so
Okay.
I was like, I just reached out.
Yeah.
And turns out, yeah, there's a chapter here in South Dakota and
Okay.
in Sioux Falls. And so I jumped in, ready to do something, and
For
I
sure.
have always wanted to like do something, like
For sure.
give back to, I don't know, change how things are done. I just didn't know how.
For sure.
So that was kind of my first step into that. And then obviously, so during that time before that happened, my middle daughter, Taylor,
For sure. Yeah.
she was 14 and she moved away from home to pursue her soccer dream.
Okay. Yeah.
And so having your 14-year-old move away,
That's a big
that
step.
that
Yeah.
was a big game changer.
For sure.
Yeah. And so her experience with, her friendships and like her best friend was it, it was a black boy, and it hit home, George Floyd.
For sure.
It hit home. And so everything just kind of came to this big, like, it's time. Like everything that I've done or everything that's happened to my kids or with my kids or whatever, it's all led me to this,
Yeah. For
and so
sure.
then,
There's like the snowball that
yeah.
just
And
kept
it's
kind of
like,
getting bigger of like, where are we
yeah,
going with?
yeah. And
Yeah.
I just kept thinking like, oh, other people will do it.
Yeah.
All the celebrities will do it, because it's like, what can I do? What can I do
For
here?
sure.
And I remember Eric and I talking, just out on the patio. It was some of the greatest times, like during COVID.
Yeah.
We would just sit there and we would just discuss, and we would just like, what can we do?
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of when it all just started. I mean, uh, a lot more
Yeah.
is
It's cool you bring up a couple of really good points, like COVID. A lot of people say like that was a terrible time.
Mhm.
I was like, oh, the more people I talk to and like really dive in, it actually becomes like a great time of history to just like figure out like what's going on with my life, or like I
Yeah.
need some privacy to have conversations to figure out what's going on with my life. So like that was like point number one I saw.
Yeah.
Point number two of like the impulsiveness you said, like as a
Mhm.
mom, and like just the do it attitude.
Yeah.
I think that's really cool. It's really authentic. And like that's real, like a lot of people that I meet that are very like calculated,
Mhm.
it's hard to like see like who they actually are, because it's like, hey, you got to let your guard down a little bit and like make make a mistake or two here or there,
Yeah.
right? So that like, oh, they're still learning. No one's got it all figured out.
Right. Right.
So, and then I think you kind of hit home about George Floyd and the shootings, and Mayor Paul kind of like had said in our first episode, as our city grows, there's always going to be more people that come. They're not always
Mhm.
going to be church boys, right? And so like we have to have things in place to keep society growing and flowing correctly. And it's not all going to be sunshine and roses. It's kind of
Mm-mm.
like what he said. So I think it's really cool that you kind of jumped into that, and then also started having conversations with your husband during COVID, like, what do we do to like flourish our city and our community?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, how do we help? I mean, he he obviously went to school for a long time, did a lot of work. I mean, I did a lot of work,
For sure.
education, everything. So it's like we're privileged, I
Yep.
mean, and how can we help those who didn't have the same
Yep.
opportunities? Because it's not fair,
For
just because
sure.
of what society says or because of how you were born or where you were born. Like it's just
The
so
nature versus
unfair,
nurture and all of that. Yep.
Yeah. And it's like, how can we give chances? How can we give
For sure.
opportunities that
That's awesome.
normally wouldn't occur?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that happened through those conversations with Eric that led to the football club.
No.
Okay. Okay.
I
Okay.
mean, that helped me. Like I became a mentor
Yeah.
through LSS. I kind of jumped into like giving back and being
For
a
sure.
role model. Um, Not saying that I'm perfect or by any
No,
means, but just being that person that somebody can ask questions to or whatever.
you're most qualified to help the person you once were. And
Oh,
if we're all broken, like there's all things that if you've learned from those, you can
yeah.
help other broken people out.
Right,
So
right.
so I think that's really cool to like start that mentorship.
It was, I mean, I learned so much. It was really, I loved it. And so then fast forward to 29, no, when was it?
2020.
20 2021,
Okay, yeah.
actually.
Because COVID was like
November.
2019 December, and then
Yep.
it really kicked off 2020.
Yeah.
Okay,
So uh, another couple approached Eric and I. Our daughters played soccer together
for sure.
when they were young, before Taylor went to Shattuck. And out of the blue, they called us up, asked us for dinner, and we're like, this is weird because we haven't seen them for a while.
Yeah, years
But it
ago.
had
Yeah,
been, I mean, we have always had the greatest time with them,
for
and
sure.
we're like, yeah, it's great, let's do it. So then they kind of told us that they had thought about this and researched it. And, we had heard throughout all of our soccer experiences and visiting different schools and different places with Taylor that there was this talk of this team coming for women.
Okay.
And it's been something talked about for a long time, and then it's never happened. And
Yeah.
so Gabe actually dug into it, and nobody's willing to do it. And so he
Oh,
kind of researched it and was like, you know, we they came to us because of our experience with Taylor and
yep.
all of the different things that we've done, and the connections that we had through soccer. And when we left, we're like, yeah, this is a no-brainer. Like
Yeah,
the whole reason we have all these experiences is because there's nothing here in Sioux Falls for girls to play at a high level.
for sure.
Anytime Taylor would say something about like wanting to play D1 or wanting to be pro,
Yeah.
she would always be like, "Oh, oh, that's cute." There's It was never like, "Yeah, hell yeah."
Yeah, like we needed something in Sioux Falls to like say, "Hey, we got something professional here
Yeah, or
at a
just
high
like
level."
even encouraging
For sure.
these girls to go and chase their D1 dreams or whatever. Like that was not happening.
Yeah.
And we knew like there's talent here. Like this area, this region
Yeah.
is full of talent. And so it's like,
100%.
why not here? So yeah, it was a no-brainer. And we told them when we left, we're like, you do realize that if we do this with you, we're gonna go all in.
Yeah.
Like we will expect the best. We will do the best
Yep.
that we can. And that is our expectation.
For sure.
Go big or go home.
Yeah, 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 for sure. I feel like Sioux Falls people are always like that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm always an all in or all out kind of guy. So,
Yeah.
it's really cool how you guys got approached, but I think that like kind of reflects like a little bit about the city of Sioux Falls and the people in it is like
Mhm.
Sioux Falls is like growing still, and like the American dream is still like kind of lives on here since we're like this small little city still growing.
Yeah.
I'd say we're a bigger city now,
Yeah,
but
I would agree.
um
We're a little big city.
yeah. Some people say big little city. Some
Yeah,
people say
I know.
little big
Yeah.
city. Who knows? Who knows? Whatever. But it's just like anyone could be anything they want to still here. Like you're an owner of a professional soccer team now.
Soon to be professional.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, semi-professional.
Yeah.
Okay, my what? And this is like one of the questions I wanted to ask you.
Yes.
So this is a good lead up. Is how do the levels work with your semi-professional soccer team, and like when are you moving up into different leagues and all of
Yeah.
that stuff? And then the other side of it is I want to know like how you acquire players. So those are
Okay.
kind of my two things now.
Okay.
Now that you've told us you're an owner.
Yes. So that is a great question. I wish I had a diagram.
Well, you got a notebook here, so
I do, but I'm a terrible drawer.
okay.
So we'll just say, in the US, the landscape for women's soccer, you have your tier 1 level, which is your NWSL. So
Okay.
the teams, like Chicago Red Stars, Orlando Pride, the teams that all of the Olympic team
Yep.
that
Are
was
made
just
up of
on
those
our
guys.
gold medal team.
Yeah.
That is where those players come from.
Like super big cities, right?
Basically. So there are
Okay.
15 teams.
Okay.
15 in the United States.
Jeez.
Okay. So just
Okay.
let that soak in.
Yeah.
There's a new league that was just created called the USLW Super League.
Okay.
They actually are just starting their first year like this fall. Like
Okay.
it's starting now. They are also a tier 1 level. So the top level, right?
Okay.
I believe that right now they have 8 teams. So do the math. What? 20 something
20 something tier 1 teams.
tier 1
basically.
teams
Okay.
in the United States. So 20 something teams for women to have the opportunity to earn a living playing soccer.
For sure.
Men 101.
Whoa. Crazy.
Yeah. So, and I
And
don't
that's just
and
the
I don't
US,
take anything
right?
I don't
That's
take
just
anything away
US.
from that. Like
The
that's
hu-
amazing. Like
Yeah.
as a mom of a
For sure.
son, you want those opportunities,
Oh yeah,
right?
100%.
So,
And that 101 is the US, right?
correct.
Okay.
Yeah. So then it goes down to tier 2. There's nothing.
Okay.
Nothing tier 2 professional wise for women. Nothing tier 3
Oh,
professional
weird.
wise for women.
And then the men have a tier 2 and a tier 3. Okay.
Yep. Yes. In addition, yeah.
Yes. Okay.
So Sioux Falls City is in the WPSL League. So Women's Premier Soccer League. Okay. So biggest league in the world for pre-professional women to play soccer.
Okay.
Most of the players are college.
Okay.
And so the season, as you know, is very short.
Yep.
So these players usually come and play for their team, May, whenever they're done. Jam-packed season, they're done. If you win your conference, you move on to playoffs. And that's middle of July.
For sure.
And then the national championship is the 23rd of July.
Okay.
That's what it was this year.
Yeah.
So very, very quick. And then they go off and they start their college seasons. We actually had a player who left for her college season before regionals.
Oh.
In
wow.
July, like early July. And then
Wow.
she flew back to play.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's kind of the structure. So
that would be like a tier, like, would you say
the pre-professional is
before you hit the tiers? Okay. It's
yeah,
like right
it's
below
like
those
right
tier
below.
3. Yep. Okay.
Yep. Currently, the women's soccer landscape is in flux.
Okay,
I mean,
yeah.
we signed, we've been in conversations with the USLW, which is the women's, the same like level as what the WPSL is.
Yep.
So it's the same, pre-professional, but then they are also the ones that have the Super League.
Okay.
And so we've been in conversations with them from the beginning.
For sure.
We actually looked into joining them right away, but
yeah.
they were just kind of new and we were new. So they're like, yeah, let's just hold off and whatever.
Yeah.
So the conversations have continued. And so the WPSL launched a pro league.
Oh, okay.
And they asked, this was last summer, and they asked a handful of teams to help launch it.
Okay.
And Sioux Falls City was one of them based on
Cool.
what we had done in
Okay.
2 years.
Yeah.
Which is incredible,
That's
which
awesome.
is crazy, which
Yeah.
is like, what? And so like being a part of that and like being able to create a league,
Yeah.
a professional league for women so they can get paid,
Yeah.
so it'll be the third tier.
Okay.
But
But at least we got
it's
more tiers now for the women.
yeah, I
Okay.
mean, we will. And so it's scheduled, like we're in conversation, there's sanctioning, there's all of these things,
For
right?
sure.
Figuring all that out. And so, yep, we meet weekly, bi-weekly,
For sure.
and are planning it. So we have signed our letter of intent for that. So
That's awesome.
we have told our intent or bought our intent to bring
sure.
a professional women's team to Sioux Falls,
That's awesome.
to South Dakota.
Yeah.
'Cause there's never been one before.
That's awesome.
So
First of many, hopefully, of
Yeah.
other
Yeah.
professional sports teams
Yeah.
coming here.
that'd be
So,
great. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not only for like the players or the coaches, but the refs,
Yeah.
people to work in a professional sports organization.
Yeah.
Like it's just so many opportunities.
That's so cool.
Yeah. And it was something that we just obviously hadn't planned for
Yeah.
to happen so soon.
For sure.
It was always a goal to be pro, but at the time when we first met for dinner, that was NWSL. And that was like, millions and millions, tens of millions of dollars
Yeah.
to do that. And
Mhm.
it was like, well, probably not in, 5 years, maybe 10,
Yeah.
maybe 10.
For sure.
And then so this opportunity comes along and it's like, yeah,
That's awesome.
you just gotta take the risk, right?
Yeah.
Because like you said, Sioux Falls has so many amazing qualities. And I just feel that Sioux Falls is a great place for a professional team.
Great places, great faces. You
Yeah.
know, kind of goes along with Mount Rushmore,
That-
right?
yeah, it does.
So,
Yeah. Well
um,
played.
so you talked about the league. My other question, I've met the girls. We're partnered through Sodex Days to house the team,
Yes.
and it's been wonderful.
Yes, it has been.
Now, how do you go acquiring players? Like, I know it's pre-professional, so like, is there like, do you have to like be like, hey, we're gonna pay you this much? There's this contract involved, and there's agents, or is it like, oh, it's pre-professional? It doesn't work that way. It's like, hey, come here, sign a contract, we'll get you housing, and you get to play and try to like hone your skills to show like professional leagues that you're good.
Yes. So there is no payment
Okay.
because they're college
Yep.
players,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
So if they get paid, they cannot play
Gotcha.
college anymore.
Even if they have like NIL or anything
That's
like
different.
that. That's different.
Yep.
Okay.
So they can do that.
Okay.
So Sioux Falls, if you're listening, when you listen,
Yeah.
we have NIL deals.
Okay.
Then, so no, I mean, it's basically, we knew when we started this that Sioux Falls, South Dakota, not really known for soccer,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
We know that we needed to do more than what other places were doing because we have to get these college young women
Yeah.
to come spend their summer in Sioux Falls. And most of them are like, I don't even know where South Dakota is,
Hey, a lot of people say that.
Yeah.
And then they get here and it's amazing. But
Right. And so we knew that we had to do more. We had to offer more.
Yep.
And we knew like our coaching, our training the highest level. I
Yep.
mean, our technical staff is amazing. Um, and so we knew we had that. So then we were like, well, they're not going to be able to pay a lot of money to come and live here.
For
So
sure.
we provide housing for all of our out of town players.
Yep.
They don't pay a thing. None of our payers pay to play.
For sure.
And that is not normal. So many teams, $900 for a couple months.
Yep.
No, because you lose so many talented,
Yeah.
skillful women if money is the object, right? Or
Yep.
it's
You're trying to
it's
provide an
trying-
opportunity, and you
Yeah.
don't want anything to hindrance that
Yep.
opportunity.
Yep. And then, based on, so Taylor, my middle daughter, she has been through a very challenging journey,
For sure.
I would say, moving away at 14, all of that, a lot of ups and downs. So her journey is my why. And,
Okay.
that's,
Yeah.
and it is to not have that be a reason, I'm not saying this correctly, might have to edit this part, but yeah, so her journey is my why. There were so many things that were wrong and bad, and like, she went to play in the summer
For sure.
before she went to her first year of college, and literally had a foam pad on the floor
Yeah.
to sleep on.
It was just a bad
That was it.
experience.
No car, no, nothing. It was
Yeah.
horrible.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, we're not doing that.
For
So
sure.
it's like all these things that if I could do this, I would, if I could do it differently, I would do this.
For sure.
Now I get a chance.
Yeah.
It's
almost like the Olympic team at the Paris Villages this year. They slept on cardboard. Did you hear that? Yeah. It's like, so. It's like,
yeah. So
I feel like that was your daughter's is a worse experience for sure. But.
yeah, I mean, she at least had foam, but
yeah.
But still, it was like, yeah, all these things, the way that some coaches interact with players.
Yep.
The college system, I have learned, is not set up for these young women to empower each other.
Yep. Okay.
And the more I love, my greatest thing, part of owning this team is having these players come in. And I remember the first year I was like, do I have them over to my house? Is that too much? Do owners do this? Do they not? And
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what owners do. I've never been an owner before. And then I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to do it how I feel.
Yeah.
What I want to do.
You like
What's
connecting
true
to
for
people?
me. I love connecting to people.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, yeah, we're going to come over, and guess what? You are all my daughters.
Yeah.
And I don't want there to be this level of hierarchy. I want you to feel comfortable coming to me.
Yep.
Because I've had a daughter who's been away, and I would have given anything for her to have someone to go to,
For sure.
And so I want to be that person.
Yep.
And so I just adopt them all. And
That's awesome.
I think hearing all of their stories of what they've been through in college, I probably can't say what I really want to say on
For
this,
sure.
but it's mind. It's just awful, making these women totally compete against each other in a non-supportive way, and, destroy their bodies, and not being able to say anything about it because they're afraid they may lose opportunities.
For sure.
It's just, it's awful.
Yeah.
And I want to change that. And so we have.
I love it. Just a different way of doing things.
Yeah. Our whole thing is, forget normal, because normal hasn't worked for women.
Yeah.
And
Forget
so
normal.
forget
That's
normal.
great.
FN.
FN. That's awesome. Cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So yeah, well, that's what we're doing, is just changing what's normal.
That's cool. I could say that like 5 times. That's cool. So,
I can tell
so
you what FN really means.
well, let's not go there. We want to keep this children appropriate.
Cut that.
We'll probably keep that, but that's
Oh,
all
boy.
right. So I feel like we're kind of trying to wrap it up. And I hopefully like on your notepad, like you got to some of the things you wrote down. But like one of my things I try to get is like why Sioux Falls? Like why? Like you and Eric came here. Was it like when he got here, you guys were like, this is where we're going to settle down. It's a great place for families. Like our family is here. Like what, like why settle down in Sioux Falls?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think obviously his uncle worked at Ophthalmology Limited. So he got to know all of them. And then he got a job right away, and so we always knew we were going to come back here. And, it's 3 hours from where I grew up.
For sure.
Eric grew up in Aberdeen, so it was 3 hours from there, but he's got aunts and uncles here. And it like, just being back, it was coming home.
Yeah.
And I think being an Augie alumni, there's just this family with Augie alumni actually that in sports too, right?
I've
like
seen that with people that I've known from Augie. It's just like this family community they have.
Yeah. I mean, you just mentioned like, oh yeah, you went to Augie. Oh, okay, great. I mean, it's super cool and it's very welcoming and it's very, it feels right. And then on top of that, you just have all these other connections and all these other,
for sure.
Connections is a great word. People here are incredible. People, I actually was asked that question, like, why would you put a team? Why would you want a professional team in Sioux Falls, South Dakota?
Yeah.
And I was like, why not?
Yeah. We like to work hard and play hard. Like
we do. And like this community supports our local teams,
1,000%.
Yes. And they show up and, it's unexpected. And I think I love that challenge. I love doing the unexpected.
Yeah.
And I think that is what is fun about Sioux Falls and the people is it's very unexpected. And I think you said it, people come here thinking like, oh my gosh. And then they unexpectedly end up staying here forever.
Yeah.
I feel that Sioux Falls is a perfect location. You've got Minneapolis that's 4 hours away. You've got Kansas City. You've got Omaha. I mean, it's right smack in the middle.
Yeah.
And you've got all these little towns
that
you
can kind of get away too. And like we're not so big that like I was just on Lake Lorraine and I literally no one else was there paddleboarding with my wife. And you're like, how do you get that? Like, oh yeah, I could go to these big cities, do what I need to do, and then I come back to like my home of like peace and tranquility. Like,
right.
Why not have that?
Exactly. But yet there's still, it's not like it's all peace and tranquility. But like you can go and you can, like downtown is awesome. Like the Levitt in the summer, all of the
cornfields
so
to have peace,
cornfields,
the bike trail, the ice skating rink that's going to be coming out. Like there's so many different things. Yeah.
I love how we are moving forward. I think that's exciting.
Cool. That's awesome. Okay, so last question here before I ask like you to tell the audience what you got going on like in the next week or two. If budget wasn't an issue, what would be the top 3 things that you would want to bring to Sioux Falls right now?
A stadium.
Okay. Yep. I figured you were going to say that for the soccer team.
Yes. Yes. An indoor stadium.
Okay.
I mean, if money is no issue, I'm going all in.
Money's no
right?
issue. Let's do indoor stadium. That'd be
indoor,
sweet.
outdoor. So like you can close it if you need to.
Yep.
Because depending on, our season,
For sure.
it might be kind of cold
Yeah.
and snowy here.
Yep.
And it also, I would like it to be turf and grass.
Okay.
So like, I mean, yeah.
Best of both worlds.
I would love a domed training facility that also has like a kitchen and like a deli or whatever that our marginalized community can use.
For sure.
That has classrooms, that has a space for
It's like a multi-use
everybody.
space for
Right.
like
and then
anyone
like
in need, for sure.
we would train there.
Yeah.
And then there would be like a big gym, a big workout area for us, but then also for the for the community that wouldn't normally get that.
For sure.
And then my third is a giant indoor-outdoor year-round sports bar.
Okay.
That is like, it's got pickleball, it's got ping pong, it's got cornhole, it's got everything, and it's got
That's
tapas.
awesome. Yeah.
Just a lot of little bits of food, because
Yeah.
I like to try everything. Well, I don't like to try everything. That is absolutely incorrect. I am the world's pickiest eater. I like a little bit of the things that I like.
Yeah. For sure.
So yeah, that's
Those
what
are awesome.
I want.
I feel like the Chicago Sport Authority had that, like where they have it doesn't have like pickleball in it, but it has like this nice like bar, like sports bar area that like professionals can work at, and then they can like go up the stairs, and then there's all these different game things they can do. It's not
Oh.
indoor. Well, they have a balcony, but I wouldn't say it's like indoor outdoor really.
Yeah.
But like something like along those lines, I think it would be really cool
Well,
here.
there's a place in Overland Park called like Chicken Pickle or Pickle Chicken or something like that.
Yeah. I've heard of that.
That's what I want.
Okay.
Here is like, because that whole environment is just cool.
Okay.
And it's got like the lights, like the
Hey,
whatever hanging lights.
Maybe I keep selling some houses and like finally get settled down with whoever knows how many kids I have, as we were talking before.
Yes.
But we get settled down there, maybe we'll have to open up this thing together, where it's just
next
like,
to the stadium.
Yeah. Obviously.
Yeah.
So.
Which is next to the indoor training facility.
Yeah, it might take a couple of years, but I think we could get there.
I agree. Yeah, it's a perfect place to do it.
Yeah, I wouldn't have it any other way. Sioux Falls is the place that is moving forward.
Yes.
So.
Yes, and
Cool.
that would only bring more people in. More revenue, more everything, right?
Oh yeah, 100%,
Yeah.
1,000%.
I think it's
Cool.
a win.
Yeah,
I'm
it's a
in.
win.
I'm in, Albert.
Cool.
Let's do it.
Okay. I don't know if I like to move fast. My wife likes to pull me back a little bit. So I bet your husband's the same way. He was like, Emily, can we just rein it in a little bit?
Yeah. Sometimes it's bad because both of us are like, let's go.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
You're like, wait, we don't have money for it. We'll figure it out. Who cares?
Basically, yeah. That's what we're doing right now is, if you believe in something and you do it the right way,
Yep, for sure.
which I believe we are, it'll happen.
That's awesome.
So, yeah.
Well, Emily, we're going to wrap up here. Appreciate you being on Move to Sioux Falls. Please let the audience know like where to find you, how they can go to a game, and like what's the next biggest thing coming up this next week.
Yeah. So our season just wrapped up.
Okay.
So kind of now we're in the off season, and we're working on a dome facility.
Okay. So you're already working on this.
Working
Okay.
on this. So we are doing it. And so that's pretty exciting. So that's kind of the next big thing. Working on finding office space, working on
For
just
sure.
really elevating, like that is our whole theme
For sure.
this year, is elevating her. And so yeah, that's
Cool.
kind of what's next. We hired a CEO.
CEO.
Yep.
Okay.
And
Cool.
so we are just now kind of getting everything kind of together,
For sure.
and figured out, and just keep working
Cool.
towards the big dream. You can find us at Sioux Falls City FC.com.
Okay.
That's our website. And yeah.
And then social media.
Oh yeah.
Same
Social
thing.
media.
Sioux Falls City FC.
Yep. At Sioux Falls City or at Sioux
Perfect.
Falls City FC. Yep.
Cool.
Facebook, Insta,
That's awesome.
Twitter, whatever it's called now, X.
Yeah. Okay.
breads, all
Well,
of it.
well, there we have it. Like Emily Thomas, owner of Sioux Falls City Football Club. Thanks for being on. Really appreciate it. And go get tickets to a game. You got
Yes, for
all off
next year. You
season.
have all season. You right now you can get merch.
Yeah,
Like
get
this is
merch, too.
our
There we
elevate.
go.
Elevate.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right. Thank you so much for having me. It was
problem.
fun.
Cool. A big thank you to the CEO, Emily Thomas, for being on, and thanks again for watching. Again, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe.